Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Samurai Schultz, and welcome to Krita again. Trying to make that beautiful eye. So, let's take a look here. I want to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we've kind of come up with 3 iterations. And remember, we're still doing that analytical drawing practice from yesterday. I'm trying to carry that through into this. So, what I've noticed is that my flames are really, really lacking. So actually, something I'm going to do here is I'm going to find some cartoon flames references, and I'm going to drag them into pure ref. I'm going to show them all. Okay. Right. Okay. Anyway, pure ref. Oh, okay. Don't know why that's happening. Okay. There we go, I guess. So I'm gonna look at some images and drag. I just want to drag something in. I'm actually going to type in hand-drawn flames. Man, I need more desk space because I have my tablet, I have my streaming deck, I have my keyboard, and I have my audio interface. Oh, this is perfect right here. Okay, so we have this, and it's a Shutterstock. I was going to say thank you to whoever, but all right, got this, which is pretty similar. Let's try to find something a little bit different. Okay, this is kind of an interesting one. Let's bring that in. This one's a bit simpler. That might help. And then we have a bunch of different styles. And then this is more detailed on the ribbons, which I like. Okay, so that's plenty right there. That is plenty. I'm just going to size these up. So, especially this one. This one has a lot. So I'm going to make it about that size. And then I'm going to put this right here. Okay. So, we got that. I'm going to open this. I'm going to drag this in right here. Okay. So it's right next to, you guys can't see because I'm not capturing my display, but I just have it right next to here. And I want to, okay. That won't work, right. Hold on. If I do that there, and then in the rest of the screen I do this. Is that kind of, that looks kind of stretched. What is up with that? That is kind of weird. I'm learning something new every day. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm just going to move the reference over to here then, I guess. All right. Yep, sure that works. Man, I'm so lucky I have two monitors. What a blessing. Okay. Okay, now it should not look stretched out for you guys, but since it's taking up a lot of the screen though. I don't want that. I'm gonna put it right here-ish. I think that should be good. Okay, now I think we're set up. Alrighty. Man, all I need is a third monitor and then I'm set. Okay. So let's try drawing some flames today. So I'm looking at these flames. Is that preview? Okay, yeah, you guys can see what I'm zooming in on. Okay, that's good. Good. Um, I'm gonna just try drawing some very simple ones. So that's why I like these. They're just very simple shapes. So I'm gonna go over to Krita here, and let's select our pencil, and these are gonna be flames. So let's see, what do we have for flames? You know what, let's just try doing the second sprite. So I'm just gonna try going like that. Okay. We've got a lot to work on. This is wonderful. This is amazing. And in fact, I can still add some more detail. Look at that. Barely recognizable the flame. And color would help, but I'm not going to focus on color. That's just too much. And it makes it a little bit too easy because if I added red and orange, people would be like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's a flame." I don't want that. I don't want my drawing to be at that level. I want to draw in black and white in a monochromatic format and have people say, "Wow, that's a fire, that's a flame." Okay, so let's look at some boons. And so boons, simple. I'm actually going to use this. Simple, which is good because we're just starting out with it. It's pointed. And then some flaws. Slim. And too simple. So because it's roughly the same length, or roughly the same width all throughout. So let's try again. So I'm going to start up at the top, and I'm going to bring it down here, make kind of a bulb, and I'm going to do that. Oh, it's actually pretty good. I like that. All for one line, too. Okay. And then maybe we add some sketchy lines in here. Then I'm going to add another line there. And I'm going to harden this so it's apparent that there's another layer. And just to be clear, these flames are very different from the flames I actually want to capture, right? But each of these are essentially and by each of these I mean each of these individual little flames. They're all a more complex version, well, more or less complex, somewhat, of these. So I want to get this down really well. I want to work on my parallel curvature because that's kind of what we're doing here. We're having, it's like pseudo parallel because it's also slimming, right? So we have this. Okay, so Boons, it's polished. Well, I wouldn't say polished. It's detailed. Pointed. And flickery because of the shaky lines. Oops, I should write that a little bit better. Flickery. Okay, and then some flaws. What are some flaws on this? Okay, so, well, it's, okay, so for some reason that's not working. Sometimes I just can't drag around with my stylus. Don't know why. But anyway, just checking the preview. Looks like you guys can see pretty well still. Okay. You notice I'm not trying to draw the exact same flame sprite as is in the second one. I'm trying to master the practical concept of it. You know, what is it basically doing? Well, you have a a main body at the bottom, and then it tapers to the top. Not really any notable flaws, except, let's see here. Lines too hard. Oops. New line. Okay. All right. So that's some good feedback. Let's try this. So I'm gonna start off a little bit softer because halfway through drawing that, I realized I could actually draw softer. In fact, I'm going to even add a little bit of detail there. We're gonna add some flames there. See, I'm gonna and it could be better. So maybe we add some detail around here. I shouldn't have my hand on Control Z. Remember, we're trying not to do that. So I'm gonna put my hand over here. Okay. Let's add just a little string there. A string there. And then we have a flame leading up to here. Okay. Now we have I feel like this is a fairly good mixture of, we have some, we have a dark area there, and some darker lines there, darker lines there. Maybe up at the top, make that we work on that being a little bit more pointed. I'm actually going to zoom in. And what if, I wonder if, what would it look like if we made a bunch of these, you know, kind of point darker at the top? What effect does that give? Remember, we're trying to strengthen our visual library as well as our hand. Because strengthening your visual library strengthens your ability to put that concept in practice. Your visual library informs your idea of the object itself. Okay, and then you know what? Maybe we even do it for some of these center ones too. So maybe one there. This one there. Maybe do a little bit more softly. That's actually quite an interesting effect. I don't know if it's exactly what we're going for though. It doesn't really, it makes it look a little bit less like fire and more like something singed. What if I make all of the lines really hard? Okay, I'm gonna do this again because I don't need to zoom in really anymore. All right. Getting these. And maybe it'll look too messy at the end. Maybe it was better when all the lines were indistinct, but we're just gonna give it the old college try here. And then gonna add this. So what I'm realizing now is these lines down the center actually make it look a bit more organic. Not in a good way, but in a plant-like way. And actually look at my reference, none of them really have that line. So I probably could have realized that a bit earlier. So some boons, it's detailed. It's detailed. Actually, no, I'm good. I was gonna add something else to the side there, but that's fine. It's shapely. There's like a lot of interesting shapes in it. And then flaws. Lines look, I could say plant-like, but I know what I'll mean when I say plant. Plantly. Okay, that's pretty much it. Okay. Now I'm gonna try, I think the next simplest one would approximately be that second one on the bottom row. So I'm gonna try to copy that. Well, not copy it. I'm gonna try to do something similar. I want something forked, because here there's just a bunch of really skinny ones. And also, you can see it doesn't, it strays from the convention. It doesn't taper to the top. You have the left tongue and the middle tongue getting wider around that curve. That median curve. Okay. So let's try something like And in fact, we can make this really wide. Try something like this. Wow, this is quite bad so far. Okay. Okay, we can still draw. I'm gonna keep my hand here. And then we can... I'm even gonna try to go for the last leg of it. Okay. So immediately I look at this and I just see like a Viking ship. I don't see a flame. Okay, so these are, you know what all of these curves are? These are unsure curves because I don't really know what I'm doing. I really don't know. I'm going to try, actually going to put a divider down this just to show that I'm doing a different thing. Is that pretty visible there? Okay, let me try. Okay, there we go. So let's see, some boons. It has good structure. Like, I think the 3 flames, it does look nice. So I'm gonna put structure. But then some flaws. There's not really much going on, so we'll probably just have one for each. Flaws, I mean, honestly, it just looks bad. But it really, I guess it really comes down to the curves. Let's focus on that. So the curves, not curvy enough. Okay, so next iteration. Woo. Woo. I'm sorry, what? I'm actually going to make that wrap in. Let's see how this looks. And then what if I make it like that? Woo. It's going to connect back up. And they're all pointing the same way, which is a little bit weird. Okay, boons are... It is curvy now. Oops, I should not do my U's like that. Curvy. Tongue, let's see. Points need to point a different way. Curvy points. Okay. So let's try another iteration here. I'm going to really try to make it wide because I keep slimming it down. I'm not sure why that's a tendency of mine, but I do end up doing that. Okay. That's a little bit better. Kind of, sort of. No, let's add some detail here. And we really should be using softer lines. And let's look at the highlight for that second sprite on the bottom row. Instead of cupping the sides and kind of pointing here and doing that, it's actually doing something more like this. Whoops. It's doing something more like this, which I have not seen before. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out. But okay, that detail's pretty bad. Yeah, that was actually atrocious. Alright, well, I have done... That's enough damage, I think. We could make it worse, but I don't think we can make it better. So, boons. Boons. Detailed. We didn't have that before, so we're getting better. The structure is still good. We've kind of kept that same three-pronged structure. I think that's solid. That's a good thing to start out with. So detailed. Work. Let's see. I like the pattern. I'm actually gonna say point pattern, and then F flaws. Details not curvy. And we have some odd slimming here. So what's going on with that? Why does the slimming... It doesn't really feel... It feels too much like a prop and not enough like it's alive. Like when I look at that second sprite on the bottom, I think, oh, it's like leaning. I kind of see a person doing this pose. Like they have their head leaned to one side and then their body is leaned to the other. Like I almost see it like arms and a head. Here, looking at mine is more like I'm having a seizure standing up. Mm. So it's the same kind of it's the same kind of thing I pointed out here. It just doesn't feel, actually right here, it doesn't feel quite alive. So let's see, not alive. So let's try to fix that. And we're kind of slanting down here, so I'm going to try to bring it up on the next one. So I'm going to go... I'm really going to try to go all out here. I'm just going to experiment a little bit. Should have never left the farm. Okay. This detail here really gets me, because I don't really know what it's supposed to be. Nope, I'm going to leave it as is. I'm just going to leave it. Oh, you know what I just realized? Huh. I need to set my... I need to set my listening device. because I had it for my monitor before. That's why you guys all heard that notification probably, or whatever it was. Okay. So kind of have this coming out right here, and then it's kind of fading there. Yeah, so it tapers way too much here. And it doesn't really feel like a flame. It feels more like a destroyed cell. But you know what? We could probably actually fix this up. In fact, I'm actually going to try now. Oops, did not mean to make that line. Nope. There we go. I'm gonna. So that's just atrocious. Try again. No comment. So okay. Oh, I'm doing the thing again where it's too narrow. So I'm gonna. Oh, okay. Kind of messed up on that last one. Wait, let's see if I can fix it a little bit. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see how this detail goes. It's a bit of a better shape. I think. Yeah, if I use swoops like that, that feels more natural. Okay, yeah, that feels a lot better. Okay, so actually there's some lines over here that I did not mean to make, so I'm just gonna redo that. The point is, the point of undoing is if I mess up a line, but if it's just, it's not quite right, then I'm not going to undo. So it's up for discretion a little bit. It's not an absolute rule, but I am going to put it back because I'm okay for now. Okay. This is kind of like the heart of the fire right here. I like that. Okay. Let's actually zoom out. Okay, we've kind of brought the line up. That's good. So I feel like we saw some drastic. Oh, it's 3:34. We need to switch. We need to switch. Enough of drawing. Just quickly, I'm gonna wrap up here. So we saw some pretty drastic improvement from here to here. So we have it's way more shapely. It definitely looks more alive, and then here, way better. And we still have some flaws, but we moved on to another one. This was pretty bad to start out. This was more curvy, but it's still like not super interesting to look at. So we added some details, and the details weren't that good, and it didn't really feel alive. So I started experimenting. That went horribly. So we just kind of went back to basics, and I tried detailing again, and that was a lot better. So I'd say this is pretty good. Nice. Okay, beautiful. We are going to save that and then, whoops. I did not want to launch OBS again. Sorry, what the heck is even happening? Okay, my streaming deck is not working. That's too bad. Oh, wait. My transitions still work. Huh. I have a bind to each scene, but okay, whatever. So I'm gonna close all that up. We don't need to worry about that anymore. So I'm gonna save, close, and now I'm gonna save that actually. Okay, this is gonna be let's see. Attend I. Okay. I almost closed OBS. Whoops. That would have been bad. That would have been very bad. Right. I'm gonna put all of this away. Mm. Okay, there's that there. And the project is still loading, but you guys can see this. And I still need to move my tablet. Oh yeah, this is what my... Here, I'll make it full screen. This is what my tablet looks like. $40 tablet. Draw. Start drawing. It's good for the soul. Good for your career in my case. Because I need to make concept art. And I need to learn how to draw. So I'm going to be practicing every single day. Every single day. So... Programming, also very important. That's why we're doing it now. Alrighty. What the heck were we doing? Oh wait, no, I usually use display capture for this, don't I? Not gonna do that though. Okay. I need to use the restroom, so I will be right back. I'm back. Let's do this. So I'm going to turn display capture on. And now you guys should be able to see. So if I ring, setting it up, okay, whatever. There we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to watch the lecture here. I'm going to continue. So we've been working on a lot of things, mostly related to the effect actor. So let's take a look at what's been going on. Okay. Whoops. I have this docked. I don't want that docked. Okay. So ignore this guy. Doesn't have any use right now. I'm going to pull up show debug ability system. And it doesn't show my attributes for some reason. Why doesn't it show my attributes? Show debug ability system. Oh, okay. Wait. So what happened then? Show debug. Oh, maybe I just had... Huh, I don't know. Okay, anyways, it's showing now. So health is at 50, max health is at 100. Intuition is at 50, max intuition is at 100. I added... I don't even know why I started playing. I should explain some of this stuff first. I basically made everything more modular so that based on like this health potion, for example, I can choose, either mesh or the collision sphere, whichever one you want. I think sphere is more computationally cheap. I think it's computationally cheaper since you would be using a more complex collision here. But anyway, you choose your component on component begin overlap, and then it does this. So on overlap, yeah, and then we check an effect application policy. And so for example, if we want it to apply an overlap, then it applies an overlap. And it checks the application policy for each type of gameplay effect. So either instant, has duration, or infinite. So on here we can change the rule. So apply an overlap, that's for instant. And then let's say we have it set to has duration. So for example, we can set it to none, which means it won't give us a gameplay effect. Or we could set it to one of these right here. And then we have the application policy. So it's either going to apply that effect on overlap or an end overlap. And then there's a removal policy. And that only really applies to infinite because a duration gameplay effect, that's just going to remove itself when the timer runs out. And then an instant gameplay effect, it's not periodic anyway, so it's just applied once and then it's done. But infinite, you have to manually remove that, and this is the policy that would remove that. So it's either going to remove on end overlap, or it's going to not remove it at all. And actually, I wonder. Let's say we set it to health potion or potion health. Let's set this to none. Do not apply. This might be kind of interesting if it has remove. No, wait. If we don't apply it, but then we also try to remove it, I wonder what will happen there. So I'm gonna test. It'll probably be invalid. No, it's not. Okay, it just returns a null pointer, I guess. Alright. Anyways, do not apply. Doesn't matter there. Doesn't matter. We want this to be either an instant or has duration. I'm going to make it instant. So under instant effect application policy, we're going to apply an overlap, and then it's going to be potion health for the gameplay effect. Man, my voice was nice and crisp at the beginning of this, and now it's all hoarse from talking. And these are different iterations. This is what we started out with, and then we went to this one, and now we have this, where that entire function is in C++. No, okay. I think that's all I really need to explain, so I think... Whoops, nope. And you guys can see... Okay, good. So let's open up the lecture here. I'm going to keep going. So, because something we were working on after we did all that stuff with the effect actor was clamping our health so that our health doesn't exceed our max health and it doesn't go below 0. Yeah, where were we? Oh, we were in here, I think. Yeah, so we have pre-attribute change so that before we actually modify the health, we can change this new value. We can clamp it between 0 and the max health. And then same thing with intuition. And then there's post gameplay effect execute. So after the gameplay effect has already been executed, we can call this. I'm not exactly sure what the practical difference is, but we're just going through it right now. So feel free to read, because I do not have enough voice left to explain. Hmm. Hmm. So what exactly are we trying to do here again? I forget. Post gameplay effect execute. Yeah, he didn't really lay out what the point of this function was. So I'm kind of weirded out, but anyway. Okay, we're just removing. Data.target. Data.target. I don't know why, but my CPU is at 68 degrees. Okay, it was at 70 some. Okay. It's cooling down that now that I have the window open. But it was wheezing before for some reason. Okay. Anyway. So if that ability actor info is valid and data.target.ability actor. Okay. Wow, autocomplete is smart sometimes. That is cool. But why do we need this, Steven? Why? Hmm. Some kind of, yeah. Getting the controller there. That source controller. Actually, we should change this to just type controller. Okay, never mind. It returns a player controller that we're assigning to there. Okay. That works, I guess. Okay. So if the avatar actor is valid, which it would need to be in order for us to do this, and if the ability actor info is valid, I don't understand why we're making this check when we're doing this one. Because if avatar actor is valid, that means this is valid. So why are we checking for it here? Do you know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm laying down? Yawn. And we're getting a controller. Whoa. Just pause. I knew what I was going to type before I did. Okay. If the autocomplete is if it's able to complete this, there must be something I'm missing. Because here we have a running list of things that we're saying. excuse me. And we're because this feels like it's a bunch of build up, and then ta-da, we've set all these different things. We're setting target actor, target controller, and target character, and we started off with source ability system component and source avatar actor and source controller. So getting source controller AC and avatar actor. Actually, we're getting character and character. Getting control, ability system components, and character of. Actually, I'm gonna put this first. Character, controller, and a C of source. And by the way, the source is it's the entity sending the is the entity sending the effect, the gameplay effect. They don't just happen to you. There's a causer and then there's a target, right? And they also happen to other things, like maybe you are the source and your enemy is the target and you're inflicting damage. Character controller and ASC of source. And then here we are getting target actor. Probably gonna get ability system component. Oh, we can use the blueprint library. Yeah, true. Right, yeah, get ability. Well, I like them all kind of the same. I like this formatting, so I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to say new ability system component, ability system component equals. Oh, wait, no, he is doing it the way I'm doing. Okay. I judged too early. Okay, get ability, yeah, target character, target actor. Oops. Does target actor not work? That's a actor, that's a character. I'm guessing there's not much of a difference. Halfway there. Halfway through stream. Yeah, see, I like that it's the type. It's a raw pointer with a name, raw pointer with a name, and they all start with target, which I like. Me likey. Oh, you know what? Even better. Hmm. So yeah, he's proposing that we get a struct to store all of the source data, and then maybe a struct to hold all of the target data. Because this is not really nice to look at. It's kind of ugly. Oh. Hmm. Oh, I see. Character, avatar, actor. I'm gonna copy this line. Oops, and I'm gonna paste it right there. Except instead of source, it's of target. Wow. I'm gonna do that a little bit differently, actually. Me likey. Like that. Much better. Okay, so that's the quest. Okay, we're gonna make a use struct. Probably don't need it to be blueprint type. Oh man, last time I created a struct that was in widget controller, so I'm gonna look at that. Yeah, well, how did I do this? Use struct, okay. So we construct it, add variables for the source and target. Oh wait a second. We have ability system component, avatar actor, controller, character, but then he also adds effect context handle. But I don't see that in here. Oh, it is right there. But I just assumed it wasn't. Okay. Weird. Okay. Well, anyways, that shouldn't be too hard. We'll just yeah, let's try to do this. Using this as a guide. Okay. We got this. We can do this. F effect props. Oh, the constructor's right there anyway. F effect props. And we'll have a bunch of stuff in here. So here we have raw pointers being linked to t-object pointers. I'm not sure what the difference is between a struct and a map. It's too late to ask now, though. I'll just have to pretend I know. Don't ever ask questions. Somebody makes if somebody asks a genuine question and you know the answer, just shame them. Just shame them. character. What am I doing? I'm just erasing it and retyping it. A character, character, and then we have what type is avatar actor? Oh, wow. That's so cool. Squawk, squawk. Avatar actor. Wonderful. Avatar actor, and then we're gonna do controller. So a controller. Controller. Add variables for the source and target. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I am just kind of tired. Not even gonna lie. What's the difference between tmap and ustruct? I'm gonna put that here. Ah, this is a great one. Okay, both in, yep. It's a container of a hash map or dictionary. Key value pairs. Yep, I get that. So the key is, it's the unique identifier for the value. So to access the value, you have to say, here's a key. And then the tmap says, here's a value. It's the value associated with that key. Right, so we have an f name, which is the key, and then int. Yeah. Okay. Structured data containers groups related variables into a single unit. Oh. When you want to define a reusable data format. Struct for item stats, character attributes, or save data. How they work together. You can use ustruct as the value in a tmap. Oh, that sounds awful. Oh, that sounds bad. That sounds way too complicated. I slept okay last night. I don't know why I'm so tired. And it was sunny this morning. Well, actually, no, it wasn't. It was cloudy. That's probably part of it. We had some really good sunny days last week here. But then the sunny days were gone, replaced with gloom. So anyway, I'm gonna say a character, source character, source. Okay, we have a controller, we have ability system component, source ability center harm. Then we've got effect context handles. So that would be effect context, F gameplay effect context handle, source context. Okay. Yeah, this is way too much stuff. I'm not even sure if I'm doing this right. I know that the declaration is definitely it, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to create two separate ones or what. Anyway, then we're gonna make a character. Whoa. Can I type, please? There we go. Type correctly anyway. Okay, let's see. Target character. Oh, missing a comma. No, I get you. Wait, what's the syntax here? Then we initialize each of them, it looks like. A actor. Target avatar actor. Perfect. Couldn't be better. Oh. That, no, 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 no. Right there. Okay. Okay, so he's making it. Oh, well, he's doing. Oh, okay, interesting. So he has a character, source character. This could be a C. C. Okay. So these are all going to be U properties, I guess. Weird. Why does he do it this way? Yeah, it's not listed. It's more like this bit right here. So he's actually initializing all of them. Okay. Boom. All the way to, whoops, to there. And we're going to set them all to null pointers, I guess. Oh, except this is not a U property. Oh, wait. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Since this is kind of a singularity because it's not mirrored on the other side. Oh, I see. Because it's the same. Right. Whoops. It's the same gameplay effect. It doesn't really matter. But the character, the avatar, actor, controller, and target ASC, they're all different between those two entities. And yeah, so it's not even source context. It's just effect context handle. Effect context handle. There we go. And it's not set to be a null pointer. What? We have 6 minutes left of this lecture. We can finish it. Yeah, now we want to actually initialize these or fill in the values. Let's make a function to initialize those. What the heck? Wait a second. Hold on. Oh, it's not going to be a construct. Wait, what? Hmm. Redundant, elaborated. Okay. I'll just delete that then. I'll do that there too. There we go. No, I see. Wait. Let me just delete that. F. Okay. Yeah, and since it's kind of like prerequisite information uh for post gameplay effect execute, I'm just gonna put it up here since these two are kind of brother, sister, cousin twins. Let's see here. Okay, I guess we're cutting this out. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, I get it now. So yeah. So we're gonna cut all this out. And yeah, so with each of these, we're gonna fill. Okay, so instead of effect context handle, it's here. So props dot effect context. Oh, whoops. Effect spec. Wait a second. Oh, I see. That's correct. Okay. Yeah, I see. Okay. Okay, he's going through it, but I'm gonna try to do this by myself. Okay. We're gonna do props. Whoops. It's just gonna be props.sourceAC. Props.sourceAC. Because this is all from the struct. Props.sourceASC. Okay, and then here, same dealio. Props.sourceASC. Because, whoops. Whoa, did not want to do that. No, no, no. Oh, I just did it again. Oh well. That's fine. Okay, we filled that in. Okay, no errors so far. Okay, so let's look back at our struct. So we filled in effect context handle. And actually, each of these. Whoa. Okay. Anyway, we filled in this. Filled in this. We just need to fill in these three. So character, avatar, actor, and controller. And that's down here. Okay. So we fill in avatar actor first, it looks like. So this is going to be props.avatar actor. Source avatar actor, that is. This is going to be props.source. What that's returning a controller. So props.source. Okay. Okay, I'm actually just gonna Control C so I can Control V that wherever I need to. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Okay. And then props.source controller. And then this is getting the pawn. So that returns the characters. So we're gonna make this props.source character. Right. And then duh, this is gonna be so beautiful. I'm really excited for this. Okay, so props dot target avatar actor, and then this is gonna be props dot target controller. We're gonna paste this props dot whoops, that's actually gonna be character target character because this. Oh, I'm going to paste that in. And then that's going to be ASC, target ASC. Beautiful. Love it. Let's see if that's what he did. I'm just going to finish the lecture here. Uh-huh. It's still not super pretty to look at, but except for this. That hits. That looks pretty nice. I just don't like all of the nesting. It's just very asymmetrical. Yeah. We're just about done here. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, he added const to this. Void const. That's not where const goes. It goes at the end. That's my bad. Right there, I think. Member function can be made static. I don't understand why I would, but maybe. Oh yeah, now we actually have to fill this in because we cleaned this out. Okay. F effect props, set effect properties, data, props. Okay. Let's say, where is this again? We made this. Yeah, so this is like the back end. This is more like of a back end function, if I'm understanding correctly. And then post gameplay effect execute. Well, that's just going to be called after a gameplay effect has been executed. And that makes it easier to look at in case there's any errors, I guess. I do not know what I'm saying half the time. I like vaguely understand it. I understand how to use it, but I don't understand it so well. Like my knowledge isn't intimate enough where I can just explain it so that either I or anybody else can understand it. But I still don't understand why we're getting any of this stuff. Okay, that's it. Yeah. So we finished that. And I want to make a GitHub commit, but I honestly have no idea what I did any of this for. I'm going to close that because that's not necessary. Oh, actually this. This is absolutely necessary. That's the .cpp file for that. Let's actually look at these definitions again. I know it's 4:30 and I want to switch to Blender. I just want to look at these real quick. Pre-attribute change. It's virtual though, so it's an override, so we're inheriting it. Okay. Here we go. Post gameplay effect execute, and then this one is pre-attribute change. Yeah, here it is. Attribute set.cpp. No, well, here's the description. Call just before any modification happens to be an attribute, or happens to an attribute. This is lower level than pre-attribute modify / post-attribute modify. I don't know what that means by lower level. There's no additional context provided here since anything can trigger this. Executed effects, duration-based effects, effects being removed, immunity being... Wow, okay. Meant to enforce things like health equals clamp, and not things like trigger this extra thing if damage is applied. That is good to know. See, and you could be like, okay, well, why can't I use it that way? Don't ask. You're so stupid for asking. Why would you ask that? No. What? Don't ask questions. You don't need to understand. It's not meant to be understood. You're meant to be confused. It's all a mystery. It's all a mystery. It's the mystery of the pre-attribute change. How dare you even question it? Don't. Don't question. Don't. Just don't. Post-attribute change. Call just after any modification happens to an attribute. Okay. I assume that it's the same, that this applies to that, except post instead of pre. Anyway, I am done with that. You can heck your heckin' heck that I'm done with that. You can heck yourself till heckin' comes. Okay, there we go. Blender. Wow. Would you look at that? How beautiful is that? Don't answer that. Why is that so small? Look at how small this is. It was this size when I opened. I am so confused. What? Okay, whatever. Woo, that's fun. Okay. Anyways. Weird. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the lecture here. We already did the eyeballs. Hopefully we can finish this lecture this time. What is this lecture about? Eyes and nose base shape. Okay, it's 11 minutes. We are not going to be finishing this. No way. But anyways, I am very thirsty, so I'm going to go get some water, and I will be right back. I'm back. Alright, so... Okay, I'm going to pull up that lecture again. Eyes and nose base shape. Ooh. See, I should have just waited, because he was... I kept tweaking the nose last time. Or the time before last, and I was like, it's not quite right. Should have waited. That was silly of me. Oh, whoops, I have it on 2 times speed. That is no good. Okay, so he's gonna deepen the detail. Yeah, so well, with this selected, I think we have... Okay, now we have it selected. Press R to go to remesh. And we're gonna, I think right about there is good. I'm gonna Control R. That should be good enough. Oh, we can get it so smooth. Oh, look at that. You can barely tell it has polygons from here. That's amazing. That is cool. Oh, we're gonna select this. What if I smooth the ear? Well, it just makes it really small. Oh. That's funny. Okay, well, anyways, enough silliness. It's time to get down to it. Sorry, what? Wait a second. Oh, he's using... Okay. He's using an older version of Blender. So, it's a little bit weird. Sculpt mode. Yeah. He's grabbing his brushes on the side, but all of mine are on the bottom. Well, they're up here as well, actually. Wait, mesh filter. I don't see that here. No. Where's he looking? Okay, I don't see a filter type anywhere. You know, I used to think that Unreal Engine had kind of overwhelming UI, but nah. Blender is way worse. In my opinion, anyway. I forgot I had Red Bull in here. Coconut berry. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. Because I usually hate coconut flavors, but the berry definitely helps. What if I smooth this out? Whoa. That's so cool. That's so cool. Anyway. Can... Mesh filter option. Where is mesh? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I understand. Whoa, what even? What even? What? What was that? Go to the right. If we go. Oh my gosh, that's like that's terrifying. What is happening? That's mild tryptophobia. That's given mild tryptophobia. Holy crap. I don't understand why that even happened. Why does it happen there of all places instead of up on the head? It happens in like two very particular spots. Wait. Okay, so he's saying instead of just using the smoothing brush like a normal person, if you're like, "Oh, I hate doing this. It feels too nice." Then you can just you go to mesh filter, you go to smooth, and then you do it like that. Okay. Oh, weird. It like loops around to the other side of the screen. Well, you can really smooth that down. Wow. That's interesting. Well, anyways, I want that back to normal. I'm gonna undo some of that smoothing I did. Oh, not all of it. Yeah, right. Okay, so right after the remesh, and I just want to smooth this whole thing down uniformly. Oh. Okay, I think that's plenty. That might even be a little too much. Yeah, that's fine. Hmm. Inflate. Inflate. Beautiful. Monkey. Monkey. Okay, anyways. What about the other stuff here? Sharpen. So it does sharpen some details. Right? It's interesting. Relax. What does that even... That is it. So this is before? After? Before? That is super, super subtle. What is even happening? And the strength is not up all the way, actually. What if I set up all the way? If I set it up all... Yeah. Randomize vertex positions? Oh. This is such nightmare fuel. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. Kind of makes you look like you have the plague, but not as bad as this. That is straight up nightmare fuel. Holy crap. I hate that. Sphere. Okay, yeah, it just makes it more spherical. I promise I'm not just playing, I'm learning. I'm learning with fun. I'm making the learning experience more memorable. Okay, this is actually pretty useful. Well, is it really? What's the difference between this and just scaling it? Hmm. Maybe the position from which it's scaled? Well, that's smooth. Well, we already used smooth. Oh my gosh. I just... Okay, what if we use the smooth tool over that? I'm really curious. Wait, what if I just... I want to just smooth it out just a little bit. 0.001. Whoops. 0.01. Okay, we've achieved that kind of effect before. I mean, honestly, not a bad way to do facial hair. Or at least as a concept. Maybe it wouldn't really work well in practice. But, huh. Kind of cool. Whoops. Okay, very smooth. What about... Okay, let's go to mesh filter again. Enhance details. Okay, there's not really a lot of details, so that's probably not going to work. Erase displacement. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. Smooth scale. Okay. Relax face sets. We must have undone the smooth because it doesn't look that smooth anymore. Oh. See, I drag it over to the right, and I'm like, oh, that's a little too much, so I drag it over to the left. And then, ugh. Like, I actually feel pain in my brain when I see the spikes come out. It is a very visceral feeling. Oh my gosh, watching it on the preview is almost as bad. Alright, enough of that. I think I've made it memorable enough. Hmm. Oh, he said you should use a graphics tablet if you can. Okay, so he's using a tablet. I should probably try to use one as well. Gotta move some stuff around here. Holy crap, I tied it on tight. Why was that so... I had to struggle. It wasn't even that slippery either. Guess I just got weak or something. Within the span of half an hour. An hour. whatever amount of time it was. Okay. I don't think I've used my graphics tablet in Blender yet, at all. Okay, this is weird. Wow. This is interesting. So I'm using my stylus right now. Oh, so wait, so shift, it's, right, shift to pan. As middle click, shift. Middle click, shift. Shift, middle click to pan. What was shift, zoom? How do... There's nothing bound to the scroll wheel. I guess it's fine. B? What the heck is B? Oh, B must be select. Control Shift Z. That redoes. I have to like reorient myself. Yeah. I think I just need to reorient myself in here a little bit before I can actually finish the rest of the lecture. So I think I'm probably gonna leave it off there actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it off there for today. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, made some substantial work today. Yeah, good stream. Let's see. So next stream is going to be tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time as usual. And thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Farewell.